y'all. I am Nisha, and this is my second time filming this video today. But this is my ASMR channel. And yeah, I originally planned to film this video this morning before I had to fully start my day. But when I came home to edit and upload the video, the mic was not on, you guys. The mic wasn't on and there was no sound. So here we are again. Okay. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Housewives. Ooh. So we're going to start off with an update on the latest episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and then we'll get into the season premiere for this season of Real Housewives of Potomac. So yeah. Okay, so as we left off in the last episode, we were at Lisa's little, what was she calling it? A clarity luncheon. I don't know, it was our clarity luncheon where she was clearing up all of her lawsuits. But I would like to go on record and say I am more confused, Lisa girl. That lunch did not clear up anything. If anything, it just left everyone with more and more questions, you know. But where we left off in the last episode, Angie and Lisa were arguing per usual. And Angie kind of ate Lisa up when she told her, "You do French fries, I do franchise." Okay, Angie. Angie said this in response to Lisa saying that Angie doesn't own any of her businesses and that she lies about the amount of salons that she owns. Lisa kept saying that Angie only owned 1.5 of her salons and the rest were all franchised out. And Angie was trying to say that she has 7 salons in total. 3 of them she owns and the other 4 are franchised. But she likes the franchise business model, and I don't see what Lisa's dig is at her having franchised salons and owning 3 of them. A win is a win to me. It pretty much gave hater on Lisa's part, and I usually really love Lisa Barlow, but she was being a big hater, and she was pretty much hating hard on Angie K. Another thing, I feel like Angie was just eating Lisa up this entire argument. I feel like she also ate when she said that Fresh Wolf, which was Lisa's son's business, belonged in Walmart. I know people always say, "Oh, leave the kids out of it," but she didn't really attack the kids, okay? And I agree. Angie owns high-end salons. Fresh Wolf is like marketed towards teen boys and young adult men, and like that realm of self-care. I don't know if I think that is well suited for Walmart, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People would kill to get their products on a shelf in a Walmart. Now, do I think those products belong in Angie K's salon? No. But not particularly as a diss, more so because like that's just not the setting. I just think it didn't mesh, it didn't go. Um, I do think Angie was super duper shady for like saying, "Oh, I helped your sons, I helped launch your business, I was an investor," only to throw it in Lisa's face and then be like, "Yeah, your son's products didn't belong on my shelves anyways. They just sat on the shelf, nobody bought them." That was shady, girl. But I kind of lived for it, honestly. And the way that Lisa was trying to drag Angie, it was warranted. It was a good back and forth between the two. Another thing, I think that Heather was just so fake and being like, "Don't do the low blows. You shouldn't be going low and you shouldn't respond going lower." Like, Heather is just like not genuine to me. I don't know. I feel like I described this well in the first video, how I truly feel about Heather, but I don't remember anymore, so she's just fake, and I don't like it. Another thing that's like a reoccurring theme, and I wish Lisa would just drop it. Lisa wants to be so different from the group. Like, she always says, "Oh, my life is so different from everybody's." And they're like, "No, Lisa, you're a real housewife, just like everybody else. You own a business, just like everybody else." Like, girl. And another thing she said at this luncheon was like, "Oh, I grew up so differently than everybody else." Like, oh, Lisa, okay, you're so different from everybody. You're so special. Nobody in this world understands you. That's what it was giving. It was giving like, "Whoa, it's me. I'm so different. Nobody understands me." And it's like, she's really no different at all. She's exactly like the rest of these women. She fits right in. That's why she's on the show. I'm just over that with Lisa. Honestly, I want Lisa to find her next storyline, and I don't want it to be her arguing with Angie anymore. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So, another scene that I liked was Whitney Rose putting back her pole up in her home, her little stripper pole that she likes to do her pole dances on. She says like when she dived into her business, she kind of lost the free part of herself that was just, little Whitney with the pole in her living room that likes to do fun pole tricks and is like a cool girl. So I like that she's getting back to herself. That was a cute little scene of her and her husband. The next major scene was the Bronwyn and Lisa sit down. So Bronwyn and Lisa have been feuding, and basically Lisa said that she was sorry that what she said hurt Bronwyn, but she was not really acknowledging that what she said was that she met with Bronwyn's daughter's family that excluded them, and they told her Bronwyn was a bad person and she had an abortion or smushing, and that like basically all of her dirty tea, Bronwyn is denying. She's saying like these people are making up rumors, but the fact that Lisa would even bring this up to the group on camera, to the nation, with us all watching, she wasn't rocking with that. She felt like that was low. That wasn't very friendly of her. That was not attending to girl code very well. And I agree. Honestly, I'm surprised that Lisa took any accountability. but she actually was taking accountability and saying that what she did was wrong. I'm thoroughly shocked, honestly and truly. I also liked how they kept saying like race to the bottom when they were talking about low blowing each other. Lisa kept calling it like race to the bottom, and she'd be like, Bronwyn, I don't want to race to the bottom with you. Like, I just thought that was a cute little term. So basically, the result of this little sit down was Bronwyn and Lisa aren't going to talk about each other's husbands or kids, and they're going to be neutral. I don't think that this will last. I think, okay, maybe. If Lisa finds somebody else to argue with, it'll last. If not, she's going to pick another fight with Bronwyn, and Bronwyn's going to eat her up, because Bronwyn does not play with Lisa. Honestly, Lisa got ate up. Lisa has been getting eaten up these last couple episodes. I don't know. I think she needs to apologize to everybody and start over so that everybody can stop eating Lisa up. But the girls are back neutral, or so they say. We shall see. The next scene was really cute. It was of Mary, like in her church, in her environment, and she was showing off the renovations. It was funny because her cousin was her contractor, so she's going through and like checking all of the renovations, and she's like, you didn't do this, you have a nail sticking out here, this, you can't, like, you gotta get it together. Like, she was on him, and I feel like she was even more so snappy with him because it was her cousin and she knew she could be like, fix it now. The whole scene was cute. I think that was such a good Housewives scene. Mary also tells us a bit more about herself and like how she had moments in her youth where she felt similar to her son. She had strayed away from her path in life that God set out for her, but she was called back to the church by her grandmother, and she felt like that kind of saved her in a way, and she was hoping that by reopening the church she could help extend that grace to her son. And I thought that that was so cute. Like, she's such a good mom to her son. She also states that when she had to marry her granddad, her step granddad, both her and the granddad thought it was weird. Neither one of them wanted to do it, but they felt as if they had to fulfill the wishes of the grandmother and God to move on the legacy. So they did it for those reasons, and it was nothing more or nothing less, which is why I feel like she was so taken aback and so hurt in the beginning, where everyone poked fun at the fact that she was married to her step granddad. It's a weird situation, but I felt like I can see where she felt like this is what she had to do. Mary then goes on to talk with her cousin about how her mom tried to take over the church after her grandmother passed away. Even though Mary did everything her grandmother taught her, she was marrying the granddad and following all of the wishes. Her mom wanted to step in and, without having to make any of those sacrifices, be the person that controls and runs the church. And it seems like she really gave Mary a hard time about this, and that caused Mary like a bit of internal turmoil. Until one day where on a Sunday they had the mom escorted out of the church, and then I guess Mary no longer wanted to speak or affiliate with her from there. Mary talked about how her mom had now passed away, and she felt relieved in a way because she no longer had to fight this fight. And because her mom would do things like put out negative or bad narratives of her, or straight up rumors and lies, because she was jealous about Mary and the fact that Mary was left with the church instead of her. But Mary was like, she didn't understand the jealousy because she didn't want it. This is what she was, the successor. She was named the successor beyond her control by the grandmother. So she just wanted to fulfill what she believed was right under God in her religion and her grandmother, who she felt like raised her. There's a very interesting dynamic to this story and Mary coming about the church, and I like that we're getting more and more details about like what is actually going on, because I think in the earlier seasons it was like, oh my god, it's a cult, she's married to her granddad, it's religious psychosis, like, but I think it's way more than that. It's way deeper than like the BS rumors that we heard about in the beginning. So I'm interested to know more about Mary and her church. Yeah, I really, really like this scene. The next scene cuts to Angie in her salon, and she's like practicing giving Heather a perm, but she tells Heather about how Lisa's assistant comes to pick up the leftover Fresh Wolf products. And she's like, okay, she's so confused. So she had them down in the storage basement. She goes and puts them in a crate and like gives them to the assistant. And apparently after that, Lisa like Venmos her $600 or something like that, like for the product, you know, that didn't sell. You know, it just, okay. Angie and Lisa start arguing again. We couldn't hang it up in the beginning of the episode. We had to drag it out to the end of the episode. And now basically, Heather is trying to tell Angie, like, just be nice to Lisa. Like, no, that's my problem with Heather. Like, she's overly submissive and she doesn't stand up for herself and she has no backbone and she expects everyone else to behave in that same way. No, Angie is not going to accept that behavior from Lisa and just be nice to her to get along. And that's like Heather's getting upset because Angie doesn't want to do it. And basically Angie is like, when they go low, we go lower. And I kind of feel her, honestly. Like, you know, sometimes it's good to be the bigger person, but sometimes you just have to tell somebody when they have you messed up. And I feel like Lisa just has. Angie's so messed up right now, she's not gonna let it go. Lisa's gonna have to come at her with respect, but that's hard for Lisa. So I don't know. The next scene goes into Bronwyn and her mom talking about Bronwyn getting pregnant at 20 years old. This scene made me sad because you can really tell that Bronwyn's mom deeply blames her and that Bronwyn internalizes a lot of that guilt, but I don't think she should hold guilt at all. Like, she's doing good in life, she became successful, she raised a strong, smart girl. Like, I don't think she should be made to carry that guilt. And Bronwyn's mom even says, like, she won't tell Bronwyn when she's doing good because then she'll think she's too good. And she could never think she's too good because she always wants Bronwyn to hold on to this guilt for shaming their family and having a baby out of wedlock. But I think that's wrong, you know. I think Brahma should be able to let go of that shame and guilt. But her mom won't let her. And that's really sad. So, this episode ends with Angie telling Meredith about how Lisa told her to go dig up dirt on Meredith about Meredith's family members and all of this bankruptcy and stuff to use as ammunition. And she's like, I never did it and I never will because I'm not that type of person. But that's the person Lisa is. And apparently, during this time, Lisa and Meredith were friends on good terms. So Meredith is just confused as to why my friend would tell somebody that I wasn't friends with at the time to go dig up dirt on me. So yeah, I think these Angie, Lisa, and Meredith problems are only going to get worse and worse as the season progresses. So we'll see. Next week we'll talk about the next episode and maybe we'll have more clarity about all of this stuff. Moving right along. So, Real Housewives of Potomac season premiere as of currently right now. They have not dropped any of the taglines. So once the taglines drop, I will go through, I will name every Potomac Housewives tagline and give my opinion of them, just like I did with the Salt Lake City girls. But let's just get into the season opener. It opens with my queen, Miss Grandin, Karen getting out of jail for her DUI. Boop, 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 boop. I'm happy that Karen's out. Karen needed to go to jail, most definitely. Apparently she had like 7 counts of DUIs. It was time. She was going to seriously hurt herself or hurt someone else. And I hope that she's learned from her time. But I'm happy that my girl Karen, she knows she did her crime, she did her time. Now she's out, back on these Potomac streets. I wonder if she's going to like join the cast at some point, or maybe not. I don't know how long they filmed for, but they showed Karen getting out of prison, which just happened like a few weeks ago in real time. And then it like rewinded 6 months, which was to the beginning of filming this season. And it starts with like Ashley and Giselle, and they're doing all these jokes about Karen being in Gen Pop, and Ashley talking about Karen needs to be in the AAP part of the jail, and Ashley is so unserious. AARP, really? Miss Darby, but she was so not serious. That made me giggle. And then after that, it kind of just gets into Giselle and Ashley ganging up on Stacey. So the first Stacey question is, did Stacey actually pay that guy, Mr. TJ, from last season, to be her love interest? Now, I love Stacey. I really do like Stacey. But nobody believes that she didn't pay him. And he's even saying that she did pay him. And actually, she didn't pay him in full. And she still owes him a remaining balance. Stacey girl, did you pay that man? Nobody believes that Stacey did not pay the man. So, I don't know. We'll just have to keep watching the season to see. And then there was a scene of Stacey with her husband, and they're like getting back together and not getting back together. I don't know. But they even started to question, did Stacey ever even get divorced from her husband? Because little Miss Messy Ashley Boots went and looked up on the Virginia marriage whatever database, and she saw that she was officially divorced. And then she looked up Stacy, and there was like no record, nothing popped up. So she was like, did she ever even get divorced? Is Stacy a liar? If y'all watch Housewives of Potomac, comment down below. I don't want to believe that Stacy is a liar, but like Stacy might be habitually lying right now. I don't know. I really liked Kiarna, that's her name, Kiarna, and she had her fiance Greg, and they had broke up at the end of last season, and she moved out, and they spent 3 months apart until he took her on a trip to Jamaica, and I guess they made up over the trip, but her mom doesn't seem to like him, and it does seem like from the show how it's portrayed on the show, it looks like she dims her light for him because maybe she feels like she's more successful than him, and maybe he has a small ego and he can't take it. I don't know, but I do like her, and I hope she doesn't have to dim her light for little Greg. So this pretty much ends off this season opener, ends off at Ashley's second boom event. Now, while they start ganging up on Stacy again, talking about her breath steak, once again, they did not have to say that in front of the cameras. They could have given Stacy some gum off camera before they got in the huddle. But no, Giselle and Ashley wanted to be mean, nasty little girls. So they decided to be mean and nasty in the moment, and in front of everyone, be like, oh, Stacy, your breath stank. Why? In my notes, I have Hey Charisse, because Charisse is at this event, and I really like Charisse. Why don't they bring Charisse back as a housewife? She was so good. I don't know. And this episode pretty much ends with Ashley being upset at the fact that Stacy is lying. She is adamant that Stacy is a liar, pants on fire, and that she's been lying to absolutely everybody. I don't know. We don't have confirmation on if Stacy is lying or telling the truth. Y'all tell me what y'all think, like I said, down in the comments below. I'm scared Stacy might be lying because I actually liked her. Is this all a lie? Have I been bamboozled and hoodwinked? I don't know. But with that being said,